Hi, Megs.
Hi.
So we've had a very positive feedback from the first video. So I've been asked to come back and talk to you about other things that you're doing.
Yeah.
So one thing that we're told is approximately one third of the inquiries are so desperate to get in that they're calling in,
Yeah.
if you'd agree.
Yeah, we find that. Yeah.
And we find approximately another third, they're hard to get hold of, but as soon as you speak to them, they book in.
Yes.
And the last third, it's as if they've applied for the Invisalign console and they've just forgotten about it.
Yeah, I think what we found in our experience as well is there are the really keen ones that call in and they book in straight away. Then you have the ones that we sort of have to chase up for a bit. So once we phone them, yes, then they're usually, yeah, they remember, yes, I did fill out the form. I want to get the appointment sorted, and they book in. But then they have this other group that we've tried to contact and we've tried to email several times. And to be fair, it's quite frustrating because it's almost like they've gone through the process, but they've, like you said, forgotten about it or are not very keen right now at this very instant. But what we've tried and tested again is we've seen that by constantly engaging with them at different stages, whether it's with content, whether it's videos we send them, whether it's information we send them, just anything that we were sending them via email, we found that we were able to, 3 months, a month, we were able to get them interested again, and they were actually picking up the phone and calling us. So we definitely found that even if it's little facts about Invisalign, just something that I picked up from the Invisalign website or from the Facebook, and then we would just send it to them. So constantly we were engaging them or staying in touch. And we found that because if you think about it, it could be anything. Maybe someone at work or someone in their personal life just put them off, or financially they're not viable. It's not viable for them at the moment. And that was kind of stopping them from doing something about it or taking action, as I would say. So it's really even just sending information about financing. Oh, we offer 0% finance, and this way we can make it affordable. Just little things like that. I found we were able to then get them to book in. We also found that sending SMS messages, so text messages in the evenings, worked better for us than during work time, and weekend. So we're usually open on a Saturday. Got the receptionist on a Saturday to make phone calls. We found that we were 1, 2, 3. We were kind of chasing them up, and they were booking in. And yeah, just try different things, working outside the normal working hours. We were able to see that they were, even if we sent small messages via phone, it worked better for us. So it's really just trying it out. But we found a better response once we were doing these things.
So I was talking to the Invisalign ambassador here who mentioned how you're using Facebook and video testimonials.
Yep. Again, that works really, really well. Just pick a really, really good patient who's happy with her treatment or who's happy with his treatment. We usually take a short video or a clip it when they're in the surgery, and then we sort of tag that onto the email, or we send it off onto Facebook, send the links. And again, it's a personal thing, because when someone is explaining their experience and it's been a good one, as a consumer, if I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, and if I'm in double mind and I don't know if I really want to go for the treatment, I'm looking at her and thinking, wow, it just gives you that little bit of confidence. So those testimonial videos work a miracle.
Perfect. And lastly, what's been the biggest factor that has helped you guys to get approximately 60% of the inquiries into consults here?
To be fair, a lot of the stuff, the information that you give us, the sort of help that the training and the help that you've given us in terms of getting the verbal skills right, follow up. I would say, in my experience, follow up is the most important thing. It's up to the practice to then make sure that they're following up on those patients. The fortune is in the follow up, is what I believe. And I think that if you're able to do that effectively, and we have an ambassador here, an Invisalign ambassador at our practice. She kind of deals with everything in terms of the patients, but the patients have that one-to-one connection with her. So it's really that. And
so on that point, what is she? Because we do have some clients who say somebody books in,
yeah,
and then they don't turn up, or something happens. What are you doing to keep that person warm, interested, and hot, so that they really value turning up the next day?
I mean, sometimes we do have patients that don't show up on their appointments. Again, I say follow up. So if they haven't, we will phone them up and find out if there was anything that that stopped them from attending the appointment. Usually, again, if we don't speak to them on the phone on that day, an email will follow. So I think it's again just making sure that you follow up with them and make sure that you understand what their concern is. I think you need to understand what their concern is first and then address it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your help today.
No problems.